Okay, so here's another variation of us linking sheets or linking data together on different sheets. You'll look at this. This is going to be the sheet that we're going to be consolidating to. So we have three different categories of product that these three reps have sold into. And we're going to be plugging in those numbers here via a formula. Now, let's look at the next area here. Down here are your three different worksheets that have the detailed sales for each of the reps for each of these product categories here. So if I click on the Longboard 2012 there we have it. There's your information that Chip, Kathy, and Susan did over the 12 months. Here's their totals. Go to Longboards, same thing. Chip, Kathy, and Susan, there's their totals over the 12 months, and then the same thing with the paddle boards. Now, the situation is that what we want to have as a consolidation area is a little bit different in design, because we really don't care in this particular instance of even seeing the detail of January, February, March. We don't really care what all three of these did, January and February and March, combined together. All we really care about is to be able to have the detail here, and then maybe as a cover page have this, and it just kind of shows the total. So in essence, these three columns here are going to be representing these guys here, all right? So those three, see, over in column N, all right? Now, so what we're going to do here is we're going to start out with Chip, okay, Chip Longboards. Now, if I click on the Chip's Longboard here, right, click onto that, I'm going to go and hit the equal, all right? We'll go to, of course, in this case, I need to go to Longboard, right? There's Chip, there's the total, all right? And then all I have to do is just hit the Enter key. Now, the problem here is that if I were to try to copy this down, what am I really getting? If I copy this down, it's going to give me Longboard. It's still going to give me Longboard sheet, but it will give me like N4. Well, if I look at the Longboard here, N4 is Kathy, right, when it comes to Longboards. But when I look here, that's not going to be Kathy's number. Kathy's actually over here for Longboards. So by copying it down, I'm not going to get Kathy's Longboards, because Kathy's Longboard number would be here. Does that make sense? All right. I mean, Kathy, you wouldn't have Kathy's Longboard number here because that's where Chip's shortboards are at. All right. So it's just the way we designed it. So guess what you'll end up doing here? Just because you wanted to have this kind of consolidated design, as a summary, you're going to have to go to every one of these cells here and put in each of their totals. So luckily, we only have like 9 totals to do. So if I go over here to Chip Longboards, or shortboards I should say, I'd say something like equal. I would go to shortboard. I'd find Chip's shortboard number, right? Enter it, and there it is. And now I'll hit equal again, and now I want Chip's paddleboard number. Well, that's going to be equal, and then I'll click on the paddleboard and click on the Chip's number there and hit the Enter key. So the time it took me to do that, multiply it by 3, and that would be the total amount of time that you'd have here. Because now, if you went to Kathy, you'd say equal, right? And I want Kathy's Longboard, so I go to here. There's Kathy. There's her total for Longboard. Enter. I hit equal again. Kathy shortboard. Here's her shortboard. Here's Kathy. Here's her total. Enter, right? And then the last one, we're going to do an equal. And this is going to be Kathy paddleboard. So I go to paddleboard. Here's Kathy, paddleboard. All right. So we click onto that, hit the enter key, and there we go. So we've done that pretty fast. So now we got one more here, Susan, equal. So Susan longboard, that's going to be here. There's Susan. There's longboard. Enter. Oh, enter. Whatever. Okay, there we go. Now for Susan shortboard, we do an equal. Shortboard, Susan, her total, enter. And then the same thing for Susan with the paddleboard, equal, paddleboard, Susan, enter. That's it. And these are all linked, so if for some reason some of the numbers here change, which would update the totals, it would automatically update here in our consolidation. So just a little bit different design, kind of a pain to set up, but overall, I guess maybe worth it, in the end. And how long does it take? It takes a few minutes. Who cares? All right. Well, hopefully you enjoyed this worksheet. Hopefully maybe you'll be able to use some of the concepts that I showed you here. All right. Well, take care.